Dave, are you raw or
I'm
just
raw.
chafed? Are
I'm
you just
chafed and
chafed?
I'm chafed and raw.
He's chafed and raw.
Podcast 86. Chris is back in action, and
Woo!
I
Got it
saved this.
fixed.
I have two screenshots of something I got to add. Um, so you've been missing.
Missing in action.
You've been missing in action. So you got a lot of explaining to do. What happened?
Technical difficulties.
What happened?
This computer crashed. It kept blue screening, and I guess the diagnosis from the technical store that I took it to said that it was the RAM, which some kind of memory.
Hmm.
I'm not a techno guy, so
We know that,
yeah. So they replaced the RAM in it, and it seems to be running fine.
and you're back on the podcast.
Back on the podcast.
So you've been missing 2 weeks now.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made a podcast. Remember, because I had to restart the computer 4 times, and
Hmm.
it took us 2 days to
Yep.
get it recorded
Then we
because this
recorded two
thing
weeks
kept
ago
crashing.
at the camp there.
Yeah,
Well,
well, we did that on your computer here at
yep.
camp,
And
and
then
then,
last
like I
week I
said,
did solo.
yeah, you did a solo one, so I missed out. Now I did go back and was able to post one. It came out yesterday.
Hmm.
One of the back issues,
Yep.
and you're gonna send me another one here.
Oh, am I?
Oh, you are from 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
and then I'm just not gonna upload the solo one,
Hmm.
obviously, because I'm not allowed to upload your video.
Well, it'd just be audio anyway. I didn't do video.
Yeah, that's true. But if they want the
Oh,
audio version, they can go over to the Spotify or Apple and get that.
hmm. Yep.
So,
Two screenshots.
what do you got on screenshot?
First one, it was a comment. It says, "Dave, where is Chris?" Yep. I responded back to him and said, computer difficulties.
Yeah.
I said he'll be back. Second comment was from another guy. He says, "Dave, where is Chris? Did you guys part ways?" I said, "No, we did not part ways." I said he has computer difficulties and he will be back.
That was probably the guy that said he can't stand me and I'm always fooling around.
Probably. He said he hated you.
Yeah, he wants to know if I'm gone so he
Yep.
can come back and listen.
Yep. That
Too
was like
bad, too bad, mister. I'm
that was like
still here.
that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I remember that.
that dude was bitter.
He
He
was.
didn't
He was
like
mad
me.
at. He was mad at you.
He didn't like me.
Um. All right. So that's out of the way. You're back. Computer's fixed for now.
Yeah,
Uh. See what happens. So I don't want to turn this into a huge thing, but we both have Raw T-shirts on, and we did make a partnership with Raw, and it's Raw Frozen Scents. It's something that was actually in the works for what, 8 months or so.
at least
Back,
because it was last year. I think at this time.
it was in a winter
Well,
time,
it was
wasn't
around archery season
it? Okay.
sometime when
Yeah.
there.
Um. So, and I want to say first, I actually got now Raw Nationwide Scents is from Nationwide Scents. That's the main distributor. They're from
Yes,
Pennsylvania.
they supply
They
all kind of different
Yep. So they
companies.
basically send it out to different companies, and then they basically just brand it themselves. So most
Yes,
of the scents that you buy in the store is coming from Nationwide.
sure.
I actually got to tour that facility. I don't know when that was, 4 or 5 years ago. I actually
Mm,
toured the entire facility, walked the inside of it, walked the farm, seen all the deer. It's pretty cool how they do it there. Now, obviously, nothing is more fresh than you cutting the bladder out of the deer, but I guess this would be your next, the next best, being that
right?
we're getting it from the source. And I also want to say that we are not really big urine guys.
No, I'm not a urine guy.
We're not like major, users of urine, but it's something that we can add, to the arsenal a little bit. And when I hunt,
Sure.
I don't use deer pee every single time. I may use it during some estrus or something during the rut, and I'll put it in some mock scrapes like you just did it this morning.
Yeah.
Your first time using it, you put it out
Yep.
in some mock scrapes and you put some cameras on it. I'll be
Hmm.
putting it out next weekend at my farm when I plant my food plots. in some scrapes, and I'll have some cameras over it as well. Um, but I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not going to, just because we're using it, I'm not going to be using it more often.
Right.
Um, it's not going to be you know, a huge deal, but we're just working with them, and we're going to be testing a bunch of it, and it's from the source. It's not like we're going to Walmart picking up a random,
Right.
urine that's been sitting on the shelf for a year, that's, that's warm and rotten and smells like
Right.
ammonia. We're getting it directly from the source. It ships to your house frozen. It's in our freezer now.
Yep.
So we're going to give it a go for this year, and just see, monitor it with trail cameras and see what kind of results we can get.
Yeah, I mean, I like you said, I went out this morning and I was using different products before, and now that I have this, I'll be using this product. And just let me go on record and say what I've used in the past. There was nothing wrong with it. It was coming from this source as well, but
Hmm.
there's no middleman now. It comes to my door. It's already frozen.
Right.
I don't have to worry about spoilage or anything like that.
Hmm.
Whereas before I may have worried about that. Um, this way, I don't have to, and yeah, I kind of parted ways with them in a good way. Um, some of the guys are still supporting my thoughts and theories on this, and I just enjoy using it. Like you said, it's another tool in the box. And inventory wise, I love doing the mock scrapes this time of year and proving that you can use scents this time of year. But I'm a huge gland guy, so not to get too deeply into that, but I love to use the glands in conjunction with the urine, and it just makes the whole mock scrape thing just come together and so
Hmm.
enjoyable for me. I loved getting trail camera pictures of nice bucks.
Yep. I've had good luck with scent in the past. I mean, it's been years since I've really kind of focused on using any, but you can't see it. But this buck to my left here, I shot this buck with ester scent probably 12 years ago. I mean, it came running to my. I had a wick out in the tree. It came running to it. I was able to shoot it with my bow, and it's sitting on the wall. Years ago, I used to work with another company, probably 7 8 years ago, that sold frozen scent. Had good luck with that, but it's not a major. It's not really a major
Well,
player.
in years past, I mean, um, I've tried using scents and things, and to be honest, I never killed a deer with scent
Hmm.
that I know of, with two exceptions. Back in the day, I used Dan Fitzgerald's Vanilla Killer,
Mm,
and back before we had antler restrictions, I had a spike come in, and I ended up killing the spike, and he followed that drag line that I made with the Vanilla Killer, and like I said, back then no restrictions, and I was just out to feed the family, so
mm,
I shot a nice fat spike with it, and then 2 years ago, using another company, which the one I just came from, um, I was using their lure, and I had freshened it up before I went up into the tree. And the night before, I had a good experience where a buck came in, and I believe this was the same buck that I shot. And he was chasing some does around. He just tore a snot out of the tree that I had made a scrape under and things. And I came back the next night. I actually, not the night. I took off early the next day from work and freshened it up, and I killed that buck. Coming to that scrape tree again the next evening, total daylight though. This time, where the night before he'd come in right before dark, and I pulled back and I couldn't see him very well through the peeps I passed, and just figured, oh well, it just wasn't meant to be. And then the
mhm.
next night, I ended up killing that 10 point, and those are only the two instances that I've ever really killed a deer coming to scent.
I
How
think
about you?
I've killed 4 bucks with scent, and one was this one over here on the wall
Hmm.
from years ago. They didn't have frozen scent back then. It wasn't. I don't think it was thought of. Um, I killed that one, and then I have European mounts over here across from me, of 3 of them that I killed with frozen scent from 7 or 8 years ago. So I guess I can say that I had most of my luck using scents with frozen scent. Um, so we'll see. Do you need it? No, you don't need it at all.
No,
You don't
yeah,
need it to kill a buck.
no,
Is it cool to have, and could benefit you? Sure.
sure,
And we're going to put that to the test this year.
yeah. One of the things I'm interested in is one of those foil packs that they sent us that has it's kind of like a deer dander or something on a pad
Hmm.
frozen,
Hmm.
and you can just hang it in a tree. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Remember
I haven't used
Fitzgerald
it.
came out with something like that years ago too. It was called deer dander,
Hmm.
basically.
Yeah,
It was some kind of
yeah,
powder. I'm
yeah. So
interested.
yeah, I'll be using it next
I'll be
Saturday.
I'll be trying
Um,
stuff out, man.
yep, next Saturday I got getting some stuff together this weekend for planting season, which we're hopping into next year. But I'll be planting next today's Saturday, so next
Yeah.
Saturday. Seeds going in the dirt.
Well, I can admit to this. I wouldn't call it an epic fail, but I my incognito failed. I call it a failure because it's planted. It's been in the dirt like 5 weeks, and the stuff's only like some of it's 2 foot, maybe.
Well, it's not the
Well,
incognito's fault.
no, no, I'm not saying that at all. And the weather just does not cooperate. And I'm sure you're getting bombarded with questions and stuff too. And maybe that's a future podcast, how we can correct what you've had. You've had something planted, it's bombed, and now how can you correct this? Well, what
Hmm.
I did is I ended up this week going out and getting uh, a bunch of winter wheat and some buckwheat, and I went ahead and I had sprayed those areas of incognito with 2,4-D, killed off that broadleaf that was coming in and stealing nutrients from an already faltering crop of incognito because of the weather. And
Faltering.
it's faltering, all right. Well, you seen it. Dave was here, and you can attest to this because I showed it to you. They were mowing off my incognito. They were actually eating it. They were
Hmm.
eating off all the tops of it, which is kind of halting the growth also. But yeah, I went in and just I top seeded. Well, actually, one spot was so grassy that I just tilled it back up. I took I took the discs over this week in that one strip. I just went ahead and disked it all back in, and I spread that and rolled over it with the 4-wheeler tires. But what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to let that ride right through the winter. In the spring, it'll be the first thing that'll green up. I might let it get a foot or two and then mow it once and just let it take off, you know. And I'm just gonna let that stuff get 6 foot high, and then I won't have to plant a screening next year. Maybe
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens. Because I did an experiment a couple of years back where I planted that wheat and rye and just left it go all summer, and that winter wheat was over 6 foot tall, you know. And being that it's just in a strip, if the seeds come off and fall, I'm not worried about it. If it was a whole field, yeah, I'd be worried about it. That's millions and millions more seed than I need dropping on the ground from those seed heads. But being that it's in that strip, I'm just going to do a little experiment again. See if I can get away without planting screening.
You and your
I
experiments.
love experiments. But my clover plots look good. I sprayed them again with IMOX, the second spraying of this summer. So I'm done for the year with clover. And we got some rain expected next week. So I may be putting in my wingman next week.
Mm. Yep.
I'll disc it once real quick, grade it out with the chain harrow,
Hmm.
and I'll probably spread that on top and let it rain in.
Yep. Well,
So I'll be all set.
my plan, last Saturday, I went and sprayed my plots. They're being killed right now as we speak.
Hmm.
Um, and then this weekend, I'm going back and planning wingman. I would be adding wingman, and I got the domain oats.
Hmm.
That I'm going to mix. I just got one bag. I'll mix half on one plot, half on the other, and then I'll be spraying dirty deeds as well from domain. So I'll get all that set up.
Right?
Um, I don't need any lime or nothing like that, and I'll use my chain drag, and get all that worked in, and get some seed in the ground. A, we got part of this hurricane this weekend, and
Yeah.
yesterday was pretty wicked here.
Mm.
It was windy and heavy rains and stuff. So um, Next Saturday, been checking the weather. It looks pretty good. And, you know, speaking of timing of food plots, a lot of guys have planted their plots already and have failed because they've been overtaken with weeds and things. And so
Yeah.
now they're scrambling, even though we still have plenty of time to plant.
Sure.
Plenty of time. By the time next Saturday hits, it's going to be what, the 17th?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be the 17th. That's when I'm planting it. Wingman's, a Brassica blend, and that's plenty of time before we get our frost in October,
Sure.
and the oats as well. If I was planting just like straight grains, then I would wait another 2 weeks, toward the end of August, beginning of September. But being that I'm getting them brassicas in there, kind of that third week, of August seems to play well, where we're at over in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. If I was
Yeah.
planting in Maryland,
I
I'd
shoot.
probably do like a week later, because we our frost here's a week later than you guys.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. I'll be getting I got to move a couple stands, or actually one more stand, and then I got to fix a couple more cameras and freshen my mock scrapes
Hmm.
with raw, and that will be it for about 4 weeks, and then I'll go back and I'm going to spray my plots with liquid courage, and that'll be it. I won't step foot back onto the property until October when it's hunting season.
Yeah. I've got some of those amenities also. I'll be putting down the deeds and putting down the wingman, and
You ain't got no wingman.
yeah, I've got the wingman, and I'm probably going to be mixing that. I'm probably going to put some hot chick with that, just for some clover and things. I'm actually here's what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to put a quarter of a jug of no BS with it, and a half a jug or so of hot chick. That way, when everything's gone this winter, that clover will be established in there for next year, and I'll have something in there so it's not all eroded off or whatever, because it'll
Hmm.
it'll be down to there, but bare dirt is what it'll
Yeah,
be.
I have
So
two
they'll
jugs of
demolish that.
yeah, I have 2 jugs of hot chick as well, but I'm not going to add them because I want to test out the new oats from Domain this year.
Oh
And
yeah,
I,
yeah,
and I don't want too much seed in there, so I'll
right.
take the hot chick and just frost seed that
Hmm.
this spring,
Yeah,
and then hopefully I'll get some chicory and clover
yeah.
coming back in.
I'm just gonna get it a little bit established this fall, and then uh, I'll frost seed that center portion so that there's something green in there,
Hmm.
and fixing nitrogen so that I'll have something to turn back in for the fall of next year. Always thinking ahead. It's what
Hmm.
we should be doing as plotters, guys. We should be thinking what we can do now, which will affect us later, to make it easier on ourselves.
Hmm.
I mean, and that's why we're here. There's a lot of times I get discouraged.
Here he goes.
Yeah, I get discouraged. I do.
He's on a
You know.
rant.
Well, I am kind of, because you people are watching your videos, they don't comment or anything, and you wonder, are people really paying attention to this stuff, And every once in a while you'll get a message from somebody like, "Hey, I did what you said, man, it's working out." And that makes you feel good. But more than often, you know, you get people messaging you and complaining, you know, "I did this. What can I do to fix that?" I'm thinking, aren't you watching the videos?
Hmm.
We're making these to help people also. We're not on here bragging what we did, how to do it. You know, we show you how we do it, how we're having success, and trying to help you have success, and make, you know, giving you ideas and things, So I get discouraged though sometimes. We you writing down more topics for next time?
Nope,
So
we didn't coin the phrase.
we didn't coin the phrase.
Yeah, we're not on here saying we coined the phrase of this and coined the
No,
phrase of that. We're
no, we
giving you information that is is on
Usable
a
across the
usable,
board.
yeah, as across the board. And we're not on here, like Chris said, we're not on here bragging, say,
No.
oh, we came up with this or we came up with it. We're giving you basic information, but also there's more tips in there and things other than being basic, but we're giving you the basic information to succeed,
Yeah.
and not on here bragging about, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this, I came up with this. I No, you didn't.
Right.
It's like, it's just, I don't know, it is frustrating.
Well, not only that, but like I just talked about an instance where basically I failed. It wasn't my fault. Everything was on point with the soil test and the seeds great, and the weather didn't cooperate. You know, so I was just telling you how I'm going to fix that problem. If you were listening,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's an experiment, but if it works, okay, you guys could maybe do that to save your plot next time you do something and it fails, or just for instance, I'm saying, I mean, we can come on, we can tell you what we've done and it didn't work, or what we've done and it did work, and you can glean from that, and it's not costing you a penny to sit here and listen to that. It's
Mhm.
free information, and whatever you can glean from these, great. you know
So I can say this too, is I forgot to tell you about this, but I had a little online altercation with
oh,
another YouTuber.
oh,
And it's funny because this YouTuber always thinks that they came up with the idea, right? And they didn't. It's just, I guess people want to, I mean, they want to feel important, so they come out with videos saying, "Oh, I came up with this, I came up with that. I talked about this before anybody else, blah 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 blah." Well, this person was stating that he was the guy that came up with foiler fertilizing, and nobody else is talking about it, right?
oh,
Well, guess what, buddy? Look at my videos from 8 years ago. I'm the one that brought up foiler fertilizing when nobody else was doing it. You just started a year ago. So I have
yeah.
hundreds of videos of foiler fertilizing, foiler feeding when nobody else was doing it.
Hmm.
So I had a little altercation with this guy, and then um about that, and that's frustrating because just because you're doing something doesn't mean somebody else didn't do it as well. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
It's a timing thing. Like, if we didn't know each other, you could have went out and bought Ninmax batteries, and I could have went out and bought them at the same time. You
Right.
you don't know what the millions of other people in the world are doing. Just because
Right.
you do something doesn't mean somebody else hasn't already done it. So I just hate when somebody advertises something like that, or says they came up with something when they truly didn't. I mean, yeah, there's guys out there that came up with stuff. They want to coin the phrase of something. Who cares, dude? I don't care what phrase you coin. Like, it doesn't affect me whatsoever. Um, it's just that type of stuff frustrates me when in the whole food plot world and online videos and things. But yeah, if you really want to put it to the test, guess what, buddy? I'm the one that started the trend with foiler fertilizing.
Oh my.
Yeah. So I'm just putting that out there.
He's just putting it out there.
Yep. There was a company out there that was doing it. There was companies that made it, but if you truly look at the online push for it, that was me.
I like I like the foiler stuff. Now you just have to watch, be buyer beware
Hmm.
what you're getting. But there's some good stuff out there.
Yeah, definitely.
So our topic again. What was it?
We
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 got
went
off
off,
on a ru- we,
we went off topic.
we got off topic bad
Phew.
because I was jaded.
Yeah. Then you got me fired up.
Yeah, you took off, man.
Man,
Where
that
was we?
felt that
We was
felt
planting
good.
fall plots, weren't we?
That felt good to get that out.
Yeah. Woo. Weight
Um,
was lifted off of Dave.
yeah. Whew.
You can thank me later. I helped you
Yeah.
out.
All right. We were talking about just the timing of food plots and stuff, and there's it's not too late if people are, because I'm seeing comments online where it's like, oh my God, it's too late. It's
Yeah.
too late to plant. No, we're just at the at the peak time here to start focusing
Yeah,
on food plots.
a couple years back, I purposely waited. Oh, I was going to plant Labor Day weekend. Well, then we had a bunch of rain, so I got bumped another couple weeks later. And what was it? It was Boss Brew from Domain. Put that Boss Brew in, and it has a little bit of everything. It even has buckwheat in it and
Hmm.
all kind of stuff. And I got that in really late, but I'll tell you what, it was so highly attractable because it only grew 3 or 4 inches, and everything was just so tender and low. And they just come in there and they loved it. So timing was everything on that one. Uh, it went in my favor, and you can manipulate deer like that too with the planting date that you use. Um, a lot of these guys that went so early and was planting this stuff in June, what do they got to look forward to? Unless they're in a southern state where that comes in September.
Hmm.
Okay, they might be good on timing there. Uh, but like us northern guys, if you're planting in June, oh my gosh, you're gonna have some really thick, woody, stemmy, straw-like, dry stuff that they're not really gonna enjoy eating.
Hmm. I mean, the the
I'm not
the
saying
south,
they won't eat it, but if it
the
was young
s-
and tender, and it would be more attractable.
yeah, the southern guys. I mean, as long as they're getting rain, they could plant soybeans or peas or something in August to so they're ready for fresh and tender for September opener.
See, and that's that. I had that question. What you just This is off topic probably too, but these southern guys that are planting in June, and they're at risk for burnout.
Hmm.
If they don't get enough moisture, like you just said, they're planting in June, thinking they're getting ahead of the game, but it's so hot, and if they don't get enough moisture, oh my gosh, they're at risk for burnout.
Hmm.
Whereas up here, some of the stuff got planted, like my incognito got planted, and it rained that week, and then 4 weeks no rain, nothing, and you can't stop weeds.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's dry or monsoon, you don't stop weeds. Weeds have a taproot feet deep, and they will pull moisture from forever, and they will just keep growing. And they will overtake your plot or steal nutrients from your plot, and make you fail.
Well, the other thing too about weeds is, and the same thing with like real quick about for the fertilizing is weeds are there year round. Those seeds and things, those plants have learned to adapt, to dry conditions. So they're more tolerant of poor conditions.
Mhm.
When you're putting out a seed, a fresh seed, it's tender. It's it's tender to the elements. So you have to have that moisture for it to grow. But with the foliar fertilizing thing is that I always used to get this question all the time is that natural browse out there, let's just say you're spraying like a hedgerow where you got all these like pokeweed and ragweed and American beauty bear, all these different things growing up through that type of stuff can handle the foliar fertilizer application without the risk of burning it because it's there year round and it's used to that abuse. When you're spraying a young tender food plot, when those plants are only 2, 3, 4 inches tall, you have to be careful applying that foliar fertilizer, micronutrients, whatever it is, because you have that risk of damaging it because it's tender, it's young, it hasn't adapted to the harsh conditions and such.
Yeah, and uh, and you probably know who I'm going to talk about, but I'm not going to mention the name. But we had a friend that, as soon as the stuff started to germinate, he was out there spraying foiler on it.
Mm,
If you recall that fella, and we were like, "Yo, hey, back off. Let it get up 5 inches before you start spraying stuff to it.
mhm,
Uh, it's gonna it's gonna burn it out."
yep.
And he had many
Funny thing
failures.
funny thing is he was dousing it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one of the things. If it's dripping, it's too much. Just put a fine mist out there and coat
Yeah,
everything. And yeah, he was wetting it. Um, Not good.
yeah, not
Not
good.
not good. So
You know what else is not good?
tell me,
I don't know. I just felt like saying it. But with that
what's not
said,
good is we have to end this.
yeah, we got to end this because we both have chores to do today. So,
Mhm.
uh, podcast is over, guys. Thanks for listening. And Chris is back. He's still around with us.
I'm back.
He's still there. So, hope you guys enjoy and drop us
See
some comments.
see the back of the shirts.
You know,
Can
it's
you see?
funny. I
Can you
didn't
see
read it.
it?
Yeah, raw frozen scent.
I didn't even know that was on the back of that because it came all folded up, and I just threw it in the wash, and I
Now
pulled it
you
out of the dryer, and I was like, "Whoa,
now you can walk around in a grocery store wearing a raw frozen scent shirt, and somebody's
raw."
going to ask you like, "Dude, what is that?"
Yep, yep.
Can't wait.
I might wear it today.
Yeah, make some
We'll
people
see.
mad. Tell them you're promoting urine.
Promoting pee,
Yeah, pee.
pee on you.
Yep. All
All
right.
right, 86 guys. See you on the next one.
Later.